Hey guys, welcome to ES and Dow Jones Futures Review. I'm also going to go over Euro USD. It's been quite a while. I've been working on some of the setups that I have and perfecting the entries so that I don't have a question on when to enter. I make it very much simulated, so I'll get more into that on what I've been working on. As always, let's go over a few key points that'll help you understand what I'm looking for here. So white lines are the major lines of support and resistance based on previous action, typically based on the action that just happened the day before, but also weeks and months before as well. Orange lines are more minor levels. That's more for profit, confluence, and general idea of where price should kind of catch some support, but not really where I'm looking for entries. We're going to start off with a couple of setups here in ES. There was a little mini failed breakdown that fueled this run up. There was a clear reclaim of this level. You can see we hit it, sold, hit it again, sold again before pushing through. Then this morning we got a little dip, some volatility where we undercut this little cluster of lows as well as this low, and then we eventually recovered 76 right here, 68.76, and we were off to the races. And then there was also an entry here on the retest of that area later on. So I'm going to cover 1, 2, 3, and 4 entries right here. I'm going to go to a 1 minute so you can really see in detail what I'm looking for. But when we trade, we're looking for setups on more of a higher time frame. However, sometimes seeing them in the smaller time frame allows us to understand what price action does before it takes off. So as discussed earlier, there was a little low right here set right before the close around 68.54, and we undercut that low right here around 4 o'clock and set up a nice little failed breakdown if anyone wanted to take that. Now the low here is 54.25. We only cut it by about a point, so I'd want to see it clear by 5 points and then hold for at least 3 minutes after it closes above the trigger. So if this was the low, my trigger would be about 59.25. I'm gonna make that green. I'll just delete this for now, and then you can see we hit it, sold back down a little bit, then pushed up, and then we did not close and stay above it for 3 minutes until around right here. So you can see good acceptance from the trigger. We are waiting for the NAP, non-acceptance protocol, as one of my mentors has taught me. Essentially, you're waiting for price to hold above the low a certain amount for at least a couple minutes. My setup is have it close above. So right here at 410 we closed above. Then 1, 2, 3 minutes needs to stay above without going back below at all, really. And then that 4th minute you can enter at your own discretion. So if we had entered around 68.60, that went right up in one shot, 9 points. The trade would have been done. Awesome setup there. If you missed that, then later on we started getting some great acceptance below this level. Multiple times we tried to get above, but we could not hold for the 3 minutes that I require. You can see 1 minute here, we went above, we never stayed above. Same here, same here. We tried to here, and then we finally did here. So we can see we closed above at 9:36 p.m. and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 9:40. We stayed above the whole time. One could enter. Initially we got a couple point pop, then we got a little bit of a drawdown of about 5-6 points. We never lost these cluster of lows right here, and then we ended up taking off. So that's how that trade worked. Overnight was a good setup. Right here, a little tough, but we were able to read it well. There was that initial failed breakdown, and then a second entry that was offered later on in the evening. Then you can see here, I'm not going to go into the minutes detail, but it's very clear to see if you want to, a little bit of a lower quality setup or reclaim. You can see we hit this level, sold off, So that's my signal that, hey, we're interested in this level. My acceptance is we got back to that level and we came back to that level. So that's my acceptance. Now I'm waiting for us to hold that level for a few minutes or more above. We eventually got that, and then that took off overnight for a nice reclaim trade. Now this morning, getting into what we were looking at, when I woke up around 7:30, I noticed that we had pretty much created some highs here and then sold back down. There was a cluster of lows here that I was interested in undercutting and taking over. We tried to do that here at 9 o'clock, but we didn't quite hold above this level at that time. And then at 9:30 at the open, we undercut it hard one more time, trapping people, and then we ended up coming back up. So now let's go to a 1 minute chart at 9:30 a.m. today and see what I'm talking about so you can see it in real time. So I wanted us to get above 68.76 to enter after the trap. This is the initial trap, just barely losing those cluster of lows earlier. Gosh, I wish all the money we pay TradingView, they could make it a little smoother, but it is what it is. So I'm talking about these cluster of lows. Since we didn't have a clear low, we had a bunch of little lows. For example, this one went for 8 points. We have another one here that went for plenty more. So I wanted to clear the 76 level as it had been resistance and support and the clear level of interest there. Going back, now we're on a 1 minute chart. You can see we never initially stayed above for that 3 minutes that I require, even dipping back below here until we got this sell, and then we started getting that. So see here, we closed above at 9:41, so then I need 9:40, so I need 1, 2, 3 minutes above to confirm, and then that 4th minute I can enter the trade now at my discretion. If I choose to rush into it, I could take it up here, 68.81. If I want to be a little patient, I can enter closer to my target area. In this case, you could have even entered a little bit below there, around 68.69. I'd prefer entering near the target area, which was 68.76. So if we held, we would have had a little bit of a drawdown around 10 to 8 points, 10 to 6 to 10 points. But then after that, we would have taken off and given you a great trade. Now going back later on today, we came down to that 68.76 area. This happens a lot and something I'm working on. So the second, when you take a backtest trade, if you want to be a little cautious, what you can do is wait for the initial bounce at that level and then come back and see if we can undercut that level one more time and then come back and hold above that level for, again, 3 minutes after the close of a 1 minute bar. So we closed above here at 3:30. We held for 1, 2, 3 minutes. So that 4th minute at 3:34, one could have entered, and that went from 68.80 all the way up straight to 69.05 for 25 points in a matter of 10 minutes at around 4 p.m. You could not ask for a better setup there. So a lot to work on here for me to discuss the setups I'm looking at now. It's been a while since I've been on here, so bear with me as I get my bearings. But I want to definitely share with you what I've been working on because this is something that's invaluable, and I'm looking forward to helping others achieve what I want to achieve. Going to EURUSD now, we were looking for, at the end of the evening, this low right here was set about right here on the first week of February. So we undercut that today now. So now what I'm looking for is if we can cut it more. So I would want to see us lose it by at least 8 points. So the low is 17.85.8. So that's 17.77.8. This is the level I'm looking at that I would want to see us get down to before I would accept longing above the low. So as for now, because we've only lost the low by so many points, I would prefer to long it above the trigger and not the low. This is something that I haven't discussed with you guys yet, so I'll get to that more in the future now. But essentially, sometimes you can enter right above the low. Sometimes you can enter only above the trigger. It depends on a couple different things. But you can see we've already started working on this. We've hit the trigger once and sold. That's my signal. If and when we come back to this trigger, that'll be my acceptance. And after that, I'll need to see price close above and hold for 3 minutes. And then I'll be able to enter on the 4th minute if we can stay completely above the trigger to enter the trade. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I have right now. I wanted to explain a little bit more on what's going on with the setups today, but there wasn't much clean stuff here, so I want to kind of just get off and start off fresh with this and continue to bring you guys more setups, teach you more about what I'm learning and how you can apply it to your trading. So have a great night, and I'll be back with more Dow Jones futures next time as well. Take care.